So you guys, I am so thankful for y'all coming on. Thank you, both of you, for joining us on the program. We're really, really excited to have you on to get to chat with you guys about books, because your podcast is so awesome and unique. But is it a podcast technically, or is it really like a YouTube channel that you've turned into a podcast?
Yeah, which was first? Chicken and egg.
So technically, I guess I cut the audio out of the video, but we also record now separately from the video. So I guess technically now it's a podcast and then a YouTube page.
Nice. Okay. Very
awesome.
Cool. Yep. I like that. I think that's really, really cool. It's fun to see you guys sitting there chatting and stuff like on YouTube, because someone can see your faces and your personalities and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, we just changed locations from coffee shops where we're running into people, and mostly it's people who know Tony, because I don't know anybody. And then now we're just doing it in front of, the world.
Yeah. Very cool.
Which I'm so excited. I just subscribed to your YouTube and to your podcast. I'm so stoked to have you guys on the show.
Yeah,
it's so awesome.
Cool.
Well, we haven't said anything yet, so you guys can always bury this
probably
one.
Need to wait.
Yeah.
No, I've already been such a huge fan. Whenever I first saw you guys was from I think Slim Jim, Veritas Domain, Pastor Jimmy. And I was like, what? No way. So the first episode of yours that I listened to was explaining a scientific theory. And now, of course, because I can't remember anything, I can't remember what it was. But it was so helpful to explain to me what in a way where I could understand this theory that was like over my head for years. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. This is like a podcast made for me. This is like all of the things that I always want to hear.
If Tony can explain it to me, then if I understand it, then there's hope for everybody else.
There's hope. Yes.
Yeah.
You break it down for people. I love that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. My husband always says if you can't explain it to a child, then you don't understand it well enough.
Right.
So,
yeah. That's what Einstein tried to say.
Yeah.
Is it? Oh, maybe that's where you got it from.
Well, no, I'm sure your husband got it first, and Einstein stole it from him.
Oh, that's a good point.
Stole it from
Or at least you should say that, right? Yeah.
I was going to say time travel, timey-wimey, wibbly wobbly stuff. Yep. Very cool. Very cool. So, guys, Becca and I were just talking before you got here about your name, Cave to the Cross, and she was telling me about your video where you're explaining that, but I haven't seen that. So for the listeners and for me, can you explain the awesome name of your
and did you guys make that video that's on there?
Oh, I don't think there's no so you're talking just the blog post that I did
the blog post.
Yeah, no, I was trying to find that claymation of explaining the cave analogy that Plato has in the Republic, and so that's my favorite one, and it's the shortest one out of all of them. But essentially, we of course wanted to tie in something really geeky that was philosophy based. We thought of like a analogy from salvation, or from death into salvation, and so Plato has this kind of cave analogy where there's a person who's seen nothing but shadows on a wall and views them as the truth. And one day he gets let loose and he gets to explore what's behind him and the other people that are on this wall, that all they've seen are the shadows. And he sees that they're really, flames that are casting shadows, that, people are holding up these like puppets of, demons and gods and whatever they might be. And so he sees the truth of what they are, and then he gets to experience life outside the cave, and then sees the glory of creation, or his version of it.
Forms.
Yeah, where there's a lot of technical stuff within it too. Oops. And so we then took that as a analogy for kind of being rebirth, but in Plato's analogy, he goes back into the cave and is put back on the wall. And so there's questions there of like, should he have ever been let loose? How does he deal with knowing things and trying to communicate to other people? But we're never sent back to the wall. And so we're just then let loose, and we continue towards the cross and eventually our full salvation.
Yeah. So usually what you think of is cross, and then the cave, the tomb, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we want a little twist to that as well. So we.
Oh, that is cool.
Yeah.
I love
Yes.
that. That is
so
really
creative.
neat. Okay, so any Plato fans already are going to see exactly what you meant there, but I love the Christian twist.